What's going on? It's dudes. My name is Dean. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now in the background, you're watching some Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And it's that time of year, guys. It's finally happening. The Call of Duty 2017 rumors are spiraling around, and we're getting a lot of interesting things about the upcoming Call of Duty title. Now, of course, none of this is confirmed information. It's all rumors at this point and speculation based on some things that have been going out there in the Twitterverse and things that other people have discussed. So I kind of wanted to talk about these things and give my opinion on them and what I was thinking and some of my initial reactions. So the very first thing that we have heard or that we've seen is all of the developers over at Sledgehammer. Of course, Sledgehammer is the next developer of the next Call of Duty. They have been kind of hinting and kind of saying that it's going to go back to boots on the ground. Now, they haven't confirmed anything, but they've just been throwing subtle hints out there, like showing or tweeting pictures of like boots on the ground, like literal boots sitting on the ground, or talking about how Call of Duty is going to go back to its traditional gameplay style. They've done all of these sorts of things and just been hinting that this is the direction they're going. Now, my initial reaction to that was like, sweet. 3 years too late, but hey, sweet. Now, I shouldn't even say 3 years too late because I'm okay with the initial attempt at changing, but anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, my initial reaction was like, sweet, a little bit late here, but they're finally listening and deciding to go back to boots on the ground. But then I started to think, because people automatically speculated that with boots on the ground, this means we're going back to World War II, or we're going back to a cold era, something like old school. And my initial reaction was, that's not necessarily the case, and I don't understand why people think that. Just because they say it's going to be a traditional style, it's going to be boots on the ground, it doesn't necessarily imply that it will be a World War II shooter, or a World War I, or a Cold War, whatever it may be. It doesn't mean that it's going to be an older age shooter just because it's boots on the ground. All it means is we're going back to that traditional style with the boots on the ground. So I didn't understand why people were so excited for this. And of course, there's been some rumors before that the guys over at Sledgehammer have always kind of wanted to create a World War II shooter game. So that speculation, along with the motion that they are hinting towards boots on the ground, kind of implied that. But I just don't think that anything has been confirmed, so you can't take that for granted. It definitely could still be a futuristic shooter, just, I don't know, a low gravity shooter or whatever you want to say. It could be a present day shooter. It doesn't necessarily imply that we're going back to World War I or World War II or the Cold War. That was my initial reaction. Now, some videos have come out, and I will link it down below, the one I'm primarily talking about, from Tmartn specifically. He was kind of talking about how they may do this like Civil War type game, or maybe like a really early game, Revolutionary War type game. And this is all just speculation on his part, again, kind of dissecting the tweets and trying to figure out, you know, the code, all that stuff, because this is what they do. They start hinting at things and they start saying things, and they don't ever really give you the answer. The developers I'm talking about, they start hinting things and they don't give you the exact notion or the exact answer, and you kind of have to figure it out on your own and kind of dissect what they're talking about and what they're saying. So he was talking about this, and he was discussing how it may go back to like a Revolutionary War, and my initial reaction to that was just, no thank you, that sounds terrible. Like, I get it from a campaign perspective, it'd be pretty cool, and I like that, but like just the content would be lacking so much because there's not nearly as much weaponry in that time, in that era. So I just don't understand how it would work from a Call of Duty perspective. And he brought this up in his video as well. So that was my kind of thoughts on that. I don't necessarily like that idea. Could it happen? I don't really think so. I don't think that's the direction that they would go, but it's something to think about, and it's something cool to think about, just that they would change this style up so drastically, because they've done that before, obviously, with the jumping shooters. They've changed their style significantly before. So is that something that could occur? Definitely. They might be trying to innovate again. Now, what do I really expect? What's my opinions on this? I really expect a traditional game in the sense of a World War II shooter. Like I said, when I first heard that they were going back to boots on the ground, I was a little bit worried just because I don't trust Activision at this point. It's hard to trust Activision. Sledgehammer themselves, I don't know about them as a developer, and that was my feelings. I wasn't really trusting them. But I really do think that they will go back to a traditional World War II or a Cold War era kind of game. I think that's the best bet. I think they have seen what has happened with their game. The hype is certainly down. It's still a top seller. It's still probably, I think it is, the #1 selling shooter of this past year, Infinite Warfare was. But that they know the failures in that game. They know what they did wrong. And I think that they would change that and go back to what makes things work. You would think that, but hey, this is Call of Duty. This is Activision. It's fool me once, shame on me. Fool me 8 times. That's my bad. I've been playing Call of Duty, so I understand that, but this is kind of my feelings and where I think that they're going. Anyways, that's it for the video. Just kind of wanted to dissect that a little bit. Give me your opinions in the comments below. What do you think's coming? What do you want to happen? And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if not, feel free to give it a dislike. And other than that, guys, I will see you in the comments below. Peace.